practically swimming! Woo! We're having a nice wee walk, aren't we? Where'd she go? Aren't we? We're having a nice wee walk before dinner. We're going to have a roast lamb dinner. Oh, what dreams are made of. Shugo, don't go too far. But we're in Largs. Largs is a nice wee seaside village on the River Clyde in Scotland on the west coast, and it's lovely. I've spent my whole childhood here. My grandma moved here, my grandma and granddad moved here when I was a year old. So every summer holiday we'd spend summers here. Every weekend we'd come here for a Sunday lunch. That's what I'm going to do today. But yeah, now I get to spend it with my Shugo! 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 Are you going for a swim? It's out that highly, it's a bit cold in there. So Mark N asked me what my views on Trainspotting was. I'm assuming that's because I'm Scottish and not just a really random question of, hey, have you ever seen this film? But I love Trainspotting. I think it's a really good cult classic. It's fantastically now retro, as in it's so 90s. I love everything about it. And it's also a really good kind of social film. I think a lot of Scottish tourism relies on the fact that every other country thinks of Scotland in such a romantic way, like Braveheart, William Wallace and Robbie Burns and that. And we play up on that. We need that because we need people to come in. That are one of our biggest industries is tourism. But at the same time, a lot of my friends, I say to them, before you come over, have you ever seen Trainspotting? It's because Trainspotting is really true. Like alcoholism and drug use and things like that are really, really prevalent in Scotland. It's a huge thing in Scotland. Like my dad was an alcoholic. He died when I was young because he was an alcoholic, and a lot of people are affected by that. Probably because we're such a small country, but we relied on industries that all started to fold in the same sort of way, like, you know, like Detroit had like the big car industries, and like, was it other areas? I don't know other areas. Pittsburgh had steel. When these industries start to go down and people are laid off in masses, it really affects whole communities. And when it comes to that, you get a lot of depression, drug use and stuff like that. And Trainspotting kind of points all those things out. And Scotland is definitely not perfect, but Trainspotting points them all out in a way that's still so utterly charming, and all the characters are really charming even though they're heavily flawed. But I don't know, I think that's kind of why, it's kind of what Scottish people are like, what Scotland's like. We are all very, very open to being heavily flawed. Scotland is one of these countries that's possibly the opposite of America. We love to see people fail and go, did you just see that? I completely messed that up. And everyone goes, ha ha ha, yeah, you did. Where in America, it's more like, succeed. In Scotland it goes, well, you gave it a try and we all thought it was going to fail, but we didn't want to tell you, it's fine. And I don't know, I think that Trainspotting really points that character out, because no one in Scotland, no one would ever make fun of someone for trying, but we would never make fun of someone for failing. And I don't know, like, it's such a warm, lovely country, not temperature wise, but the people are so warm and they will help you out, and they, you know, everyone does look out for themselves. That's what happens to everyone. But I don't know, I always feel safe when I'm in Scotland. I always feel safe around loads of drunk people on the train home, because you know there'll always be a drunk guy offering out his chips or a bit of pizza. You go, you want chips? You want chips? You look like you need chips. And you end up just making friends and stuff, and like, I don't know, Trainspotting is a good film. Thank you so much for asking that question, because yeah, I think it's highly underrated, especially with people who aren't Scottish. People who are Scottish get it, and they, it's a good nod to society. But I think people who aren't Scottish just see it as a crazy film with a mental baby crawling along a ceiling, which it also is that. So thank you so much for asking that question. Anyone else got any other questions? Put them below. And I'm sitting on a really cold wet rock, so I'm going to get up and continue our walk, aren't we? We're going for a walk. Yeah. Okay, bye everyone.